Hi guys, Barry from Copper vs Glass. Today I'm going to be taking a look at something which I've been looking forward to for a while now, and that is my new Nexus. Now, of course, you all know me, if you watch the videos, as loving Nexus products. Got my Galaxy Nexus here, and I absolutely love it. But I got through the post the other day, my Nexus 4. Now, my Nexus 4, I ordered on the 30th of January, and I got it on the 3rd of February, even though the website said I wasn't going to receive it until the 13th of February. So, quite impressed with Google's shipping and their supply, as they've had a few issues with it. So, if you're going to order one and it gives you a long estimated delivery time, you probably might get it a bit quicker, so I'd suggest you snap it up. So Nexus 4 here, as you probably all know, is the newest Nexus device running stock Android. It's an LG phone with great processor, updated camera, and somewhat better build quality than something like the Galaxy Nexus. So let's go ahead and unbox it and take a look and see what it has to offer. Now that we've unboxed it, what are my first impressions on the device? The first thing you're going to notice when you get it out of the box is that it is built incredibly well and it feels like an absolutely great device. It's got a really smooth finish to it. It almost feels like a bit of a pebble with a rubber edge around it. But let's go ahead and have a look at comparing it side by side with the old Galaxy Nexus. So the Galaxy Nexus, of course, as you might know, has a curved display on the front and a plastic sort of pattern on the back that's supposed to make it more grippy, and it's got a teardrop design, so it's thinner at the top than it is at the bottom. The new Nexus by LG, the Nexus 4, is glass on the back and the front, and it has a straight design with same width as the top and the bottom. In terms of actual thickness of the devices, the Nexus 4 is about as thick as the middle part of the Galaxy Nexus, making it for a decent sized thickness, not too thin, not too thick, and it actually weighs about the same, if not a tiny bit heavier. In terms of the glass on the front, they're both very smooth surfaces with rounded edges, but the Nexus 4 has a slightly curved design to the edges, meaning that if you run your finger over the edge, it's going to be nice and smooth. Putting the Nexus aside now, the all Galaxy Nexus, let's have a look at the ports on this one. So we've got, of course, a micro USB on the bottom with a pinhole microphone, 2 screws for, I'm guessing, getting access to the insides of the device if you should wish to do that. And we've got a headphone jack on the top, and we've got a pinhole microphone, probably a noise cancelling microphone on the top as well. On the side, on the left hand side, we have a volume rocker, which in my opinion, similar to the power button on the right hand side of the device, are actually fairly flush with the body, potentially making it quite hard to press. I found that just in general use so far, it can be quite hard to locate the buttons and press it down as well. We've got the micro SIM on the left hand side of the device as well. Looking on the back of the device, this is where you're going to see the most exciting pieces of design. It's got a really nice glass back, which of course, coming from something like an iPhone, you may think it's quite fragile, but hopefully it's made out of a stronger glass so it won't break as easily. It's got the Nexus branding on it and LG as well, with a really nice sort of sparkly pattern underneath it. Then in most lights you won't notice, in most lights it will appear just black, but in some lights it can sparkle and shimmer in the sun. Of course, you've got an 8 megapixel camera and a flash, and a speaker grill slit on the back here. Now, the downside to this is that it's mounted flush to the bottom of the phone, so if you lay it face or back down, onto a table, it might cover up the microphone and make it a little bit quieter. In general, I have found the microphone to be louder than the Galaxy Nexus, but not amazing quality. Around the front of the phone, we've of course got the earpiece, all relevant light sensors, and a camera. And of course we've got this beautiful curved piece of glass on the front with no buttons, because of course it's stock Android, so it's a touchscreen button device. So overall, the build is, I think, much better than something like the Galaxy Nexus. This feels plasticky and cheap. This feels premium with glass and rubber accents all around the outside, so it feels a lot better. In terms of just the way it operates, of course it's stock Android, so you're going to get really great software on it. It's quite powerful. It's a quad-core processor, 2 gigs of RAM, and great graphics as well. The only downside I have found at the moment is that, considering this is such a powerful device, playing games on it won't look any better, or I don't think any better, than they do on the Galaxy Nexus. I ran Modern Combat 4 on both devices. Yes, the frame rate was different on either because of course it's a more powerful device, but in terms of the graphical quality there wasn't much difference. For example, Modern Combat 4, you should have things like lens flares, dirt effects, smoke and things like that. And you don't get that on either device, but yet on an iPhone 5 you do. But this is much more powerful than an iPhone 5, so why is that the case? That's probably just down to software optimization and the way the game is developed, but pretty sad thing to see that on such a high-end device like this, you're not getting those really high-quality aspects of 3D games. So, out there to developers. So, in terms of the Nexus 4, just my overall impressions, this isn't going to be a huge review because I'm sure you've seen many of them. It is definitely by far the best Android device I've had. I've had a Galaxy S2, which is my first Android device, the Galaxy Nexus, which is my second, and now the Nexus 4, and this is by far the best one. I can honestly say that if I'm advising anyone to get any phone, not just an Android phone, I'd definitely say to look at the Nexus 4. LTE, in my opinion, is still not a massive deal in the UK especially. I'm perfectly happy with 3G at the moment, so that's really not a problem for me. But yeah, just overall I think this phone is absolutely amazing, and I highly suggest you pick it up, especially at the unlocked price of £280 for the 16GB version. It's an absolute bargain. So this is Barry from Copper vs Glass taking a look at the Nexus 4, and I'll catch you guys later.